The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
1420 Sports Bar Podcast, for beer, the sports talk, and a whole lot more. Join host Brent Radlinski as he bellies up to the bar and gets the conversations going that'll make you think you're sitting in your local watering room. It's sports, beer, and shenanigans, so sit back, grab a few beers, and let's get in.
Kind of, switching gears to the college football. I mean, you older than I am, obviously. This goes without saying.
A couple weeks, anyways. Yeah.
How do you feel? I mean, we can get into the portal stuff and stuff like that, but this college football playoff. I mean, I know you're a college football fan, as am I. But do you like the setup? Do you miss the old way already? Now there's rumors they're going to go to 16 teams eventually. Like, what do you think of this whole makeup of the situation?
I don't like it. I think it just things get lost in the shuffle. Games get lost. Like, for some unknown reason, there was a college football playoff game last night on a Friday night, right before Christmas, and then there's what, 3 more games today, right before Christmas. People are busy. I got things going on. Everybody's got things going on. And as long as there's money, once again, they're going to keep adding teams because the networks will pay for it. People are dumb enough to go and watch these games. And unless there's an upset today, which I don't think there's going to be, I shouldn't say I don't think there's going to be. I think actually this might be the Ohio State, what's the name, Day. I think this might be his last day coaching for the Ohio State Buckeyes. I think that's the thing. I think Monday morning we'd have a kind of a ugly present underneath his Christmas tree, but it's. I don't like it. Because now, we'll get into the portal thing. I don't like it for the simple fact that now it's just you're not going to see the best team win. I don't think you're going to see the team that perseveres win. Like it's more of an NFL thing. The team that can stay healthy, the team that can piece this and that together, and maybe catch lightning in a bottle. That's just going to win. I like the one game winner take all mentality. Put it all on the table, go for it, like all those cliches. But with all these extra games, now you're just having extra games for the sake of having games. And it's going to, like, if Notre Dame wins last night, and it wasn't 27-17. It could have been a blowout. They probably put some fourth liners in there to finish that one off. But if a guy gets hurt, then what? Right? If this guy gets hurt, then what? And so now it's a longevity thing compared to should the best team win. Like, we don't even know if the best teams are even involved in this thing, right? Like, I don't know. It's just I don't like it. I think it's just too much. Like, more football isn't better football. More hockey isn't better hockey. More baseball isn't better baseball, right? And I like a one game winner take all, which you're not having anymore. If you start adding more teams, some team just might get lucky and stay healthier. I don't know. I just think it's and now, like, how, and I don't think that when they put this together, that by they, I mean the NCAA or whoever runs college football. I don't think the NCAA has anything to do with it anymore. But I don't think that they had any idea what the portal was going to be like, NIL money is going to be like. So now I don't know. It's going to get ugly before it gets any better.
Yeah, no, I certainly do agree. I sort of like the I don't know if it's the format. I mean, I like that they're doing a more than a 14 playoff. I just thought it was, I don't know. I thought there's arguments to be made. This team should get in. That team should get in. I think they should keep it right here, though, is where I'm kind of sitting right. Like, I don't want it to be any bigger than this. I think 12, that's the right amount. Like, no more than 12. You could argue 10 even, but it's, I don't know. I like that they expanded it. It makes it like a little more interesting. I think the timing of it could, like, I don't know why they didn't start a week before. And now, the transfer portal stuff's going on, like, because Penn State's backup quarterback transferred, or he entered the transfer portal on like Wednesday or Thursday. So now if they had to go to him in a playoff game, he's out the building. Like, it's the timing of it sucks. Like, now you're going to see kid, oh, where's that kid? Oh, he transferred. Like, it's a mess. It's a wild, wild west. And in college football, like I said, I don't have a problem with the format of it. I do kind of like it, but what they're doing, what they're like, they're going to make so much money off of this. Like, this is because before, you have basically 4 games or whatever it was, 2 games or whatever it was. And the 2 games in the national championship, and it was like over and like boom, it was over and done with. And they always had it on a Monday night too. I don't know. It might still sit on a Monday night this year, but I think that's stupid. I don't understand that whatsoever. I know you're not
Saturdays all year long. Why change it?
Exactly. I know you're not trying to compete with the NFL on a Sunday. I understand that. Even the national championship, don't put it up against the NFL. I understand that. But yeah, why change your formula now? And why? And a Monday night, like people are getting off work, people are still working. It's just that's like when the World Series they put it on the nights like that. It's, like I get it, it's 7 games, it's different, but yeah, I don't know if you got into any of the transfer portal stuff as far as like how do you feel about that now? It's like somebody's unhappy, they're out the door. Like I don't.
I hate it. Like I'm maybe it's just if you're not good enough, get better. If you're not playing, get better. Like if you signed up for this, it's not like you didn't know that there was a guy in front of you, right? It's not like you thought you were going to surpass the guy that's going to win a Heisman or going he's their QB1 or whatever. Get better. And if somebody comes up behind you and is better than you, get better. Just because you're not getting the playing time you think you deserve, you don't deserve anything. You have to work for it. And like we were talking when the show first started, I don't think these kids understand how tough life is. When it's just here you go. Here you go. Oh, I don't like this. I'm gonna go start so now dad will go start his own team. I see it all the time with travel baseball and travel sports and everything else. They don't like it here. They just go to the next town over. They start a new team. And that's what college sports is now. I don't like it here. I'm leaving. All right. Well, go. Like what makes you think that you're going to if you couldn't like the USC starter this year, I can't remember his name off the top of my head for whatever reason, but he's entering transfer portal because he sucked. So that's USC's fault. Like, and what school? Like in my mind, what school in their right mind would take a kid who quit on his teammates 2 months before? Why would you entertain that?
I'm not telling you you're wrong. I just think it's now it's a mindset shift on that because it's like the Cubs with Cody Bellinger, right? Okay, we're gonna let him go. We're gonna get him off to the Yankees. This is beneficial for us. Like it's kind of like that, but it's more individualistic because if Brent's playing for Michigan, right, and he's the 3rd quarterback, and he gets word that if he goes to West Virginia, he can be the starting quarterback. Like I don't blame the kids for doing it. I think the institution has created this. I just college was where loyalty was always talked about, and tradition and this and that. And now you're turning it into a professional sports league, even though it's still the amateur level. Like I get it from some like as a player, it's player friendly thing for sure. Like it's like there's guys getting breaks out of it. There's guys that are going to end up in the NFL because of this. Like if they didn't have this, you might never hear of them again. Which I mean, I don't know if that's good or bad. But I get it. I think there has to be some regulation behind it. I don't know if there's any right now. I think there's kids that are sophomores that are going into the transfer portal after playing 1 year. I don't know about that. I don't know. They're definitely changing everything about it, and like soon we won't have a Pac-12. Like what? There's 2 teams in the Pac-12 or whatever.
Yeah, things
are like I think they smelled the money when they started doing all this, and they thought about how it was going to work after. Like they tried to put it together and make it work, but it's just
they had a beginning. They had an A and a Z, but they forgot to fill in the middle.
Yeah,
right. They forgot the other 24 letters. And it's now what? And they're finding out. And like this, and for years these schools were making how much money off of these kids. And yeah, you get a scholarship, but there's a lot of guys who there's a reason why Reggie got a house and everything. A lot of these guys weren't making anything, and it was tough. And you only get X amount of meals a day or a week, and books and things and stuff. And there's not and people. When they say this guy got a scholarship, well, it's usually a percentage. It's not a full. There's not very many full scholarships that get handed out, right? So there's a lot of money that gets that the parents are putting out there. Now that these kids can, maybe parlay it into a few bucks, you can't blame them. Like you think of all the money that you put 110,000 people in Happy Valley, right, or 100 and some thousand in Michigan, or 98,000 in the Coliseum when the USC used to be good. There's a lot of money going somewhere. So now these kids are getting a little bit on their own. Why not? How they're going about doing it, they got to fix it, because it's going to be, and it already is a little bit, but it's going to be a lot more of the have and have nots in college football, especially because the money's so big. Like college baseball has it, like down in the SEC, it's huge, obviously, like Big Ten and Pac whatever, if there even exists anymore. College baseball nobody watches, so the SEC always has a chance to win college baseball now, and because the how much money there is with these donors and NIL money and transfers, and it's I don't know. Like I get it, and kids get a chance to play, but I'm also on the other thing. If you just be better. If you want to play, just be better. And that's pretty blind and easy for me to say, but if you're not good enough, but like you said, which kind of opened my ears and eyes a little bit, this kid maybe was a late bloomer, and if he gets stuck behind some guy because he's just there, because these old school football coaches don't give a guy a chance, it's so that you might never get to see him play. And that's a tough thing, right? Like I don't know. It's got to be regulated a little bit, and like your guy at Penn State, for not like why couldn't they just to me it's so simple. Why didn't they just make a rule that said if you are in the college football player, you can delay entering the portal until you're done?
Yeah,
I understand.
alone, yeah.
I understand January classes and start, so he has to be in class, and then whatever, and who cares? Figure that out. Like figure it out.
You could figure that out. Yeah, absolutely.
There's got to be a way.
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, I'm enrolled in Northwestern Pennsylvania State University, whatever, and I'm taking classes, but I'm still playing here for maybe a week. We're talking a week, right? It might be a week that this kid could still be a Penn State Nittany Lion. Like what's it hurting? If it's at maximum 3 weeks, max 3 weeks more. No, we can't do that. Why? Because he didn't try. Right? They didn't even try to come up with a solution. This is what it is. They're stupid. Like they look so, and the NCAA's been this for forever. As long as they look so dumb all the time. They trip on their dinks all the time when it comes to this kind of stuff. Like, why not have solutions to the problem before it becomes a problem? It's not like the NCAA doesn't have a band of lawyers bigger than this quarterback's parents do, right? Like, why not figure this out and have solutions before it becomes a problem? I don't get it. Like how it gets to this point all the time with the NCAA. It's odd to me.
Yeah, it absolutely, and like you said, it's like it's pieced together and not thought about. It's just thrown together. It's completely thrown together, and then now you have to have, like, I don't know. I mean, I kind of want to get your comments on the Indiana coach on what he said. Just kind of different thing, but like now, if you're a head coach, though, I mean, I almost think you're going to see some college guys like that love the college game going to the NFL, because now you got to worry about the NIL, you got to worry about the transfer portal, you got to worry about, like, you know, if you're Penn State, if you're Oregon, one of these teams, now who's going out the back door? Oh, we got to recruit. Like, how do you keep up with all this shit and prepare for a game and travel, and like, it's just, I don't know how they have enough. Like, you got to have 1 million people on your staff just to, you know, be able to handle all this, because as soon as you turn turn a blind eye to the portal or whatever, up there, that guy's gone. It's like, and now it's right before, like you said, it makes no sense right before a college football playoff game. What if, God forbid, you know, their starting quarterback Aller goes down? Now we got some kid that's never even, you know, played in a game.
I didn't even know his name. I didn't even know that kid's name until last week, right? Like, if you can have a coach having to coach in a big game today, that might not even know who his third or fourth string guy was.
Yep.
What's Billy? Is it Billy? I don't know.
I don't even know who's behind, like the kid that transferred out, Bo Papula. I don't know who's behind him. I think it might be Jackson Samoic, and that's only because I'm a Penn State nerd, and I know for a fact I've never seen him play a snap. He has never, not even in blowouts, I've never seen him play. I haven't. So
he probably hasn't.
He probably would be rattled. Like, he probably has no composure. Like, I mean, you know, you never know, but the odds are completely against you. And the fact that, like, what if they went on to go, you know, to the Final Four or whatever, and you need that guy? and you let him go to the transfer portal before it. Like, why not let the playoffs conclude for all these teams, and then boom, then it opens up. Like that makes. I get you want to get a fast start and coaching, recruit. You're bringing in new coaches, this and that. You got like Wisconsin brought in a new offense coordinator. This team brought in this, that, and the third. But it's just this shit is just unhinged. It's like
you wonder if this all happened 10 years ago, because college football used to be the coaches rule with an iron fist and they could tell the players what to do. This, like, that's it. I say this, I say jump, you say how high, sir. And that's what college football, bing, bing, bing.
Yep.
You wonder if this was all going on 10 years ago when Nick Saban was rolling high at Alabama. If this transfer portal stuff, if he would have went, you know what, I'm out.
I think that's the reason he got out when he did. I'm good. Like I've got this many championships. I got X amount of dollars in the bank. Blah blah blah. Now I got to deal with Bobby's mom and Jake's dad, and then this kid leaving, and this where I used to be. It was hard enough before. I'm sure it was hard enough before. It was hard enough before, like because you're dealing with kids. You're not dealing with these aren't. I mean, different.
You could tell kids what to do. And kids weren't getting paid, and like coaching in the NFL, that's got to be tough because you got a guy making 35, 40, 50 million bucks, and you can't bench him because the owner comes down on you. Like when I'm a college coach, you sit over there, and I will tell you when you're playing. You didn't do this right. You aren't playing. NFL, he's like, I have a contract. F you. Thanks. Yeah. Players don't get fired. Players go away in college. Well, they used to. In college sports, players used to just disappear. You'd never hear from them. How many greats do you know from around your town that like whatever happened to that guy? They went away because they probably didn't toe the company line. Now the company line is the inmates are running the asylum. And to be like you were trying to allude to is the college coaches don't have that power anymore. They're like, I don't know which way's up half the time. Right.
And it's too much that like, it's just too much to be in control of, like with just players going out. Cause there's now I looked into it a little bit last night. There's there's different transfer portal dates as far as when you can enter. Like now that like, from I think it's December 9th to the 28th or 20, well, something like that.
Yeah.
This is a kind of like an open enrollment. Like you're signing up for classes. Okay, this is a period where guys can walk out the back door. There's one in April. So it's like this is a constant like, okay, what's going to happen in a couple months? Like you almost got to prepare for this guy to leave, that guy. Like Penn State picked up a receiver from USC. Like, okay, what if the offensive coordinator recruited that guy for 3 months? Like I get it, kids are going to go to the NFL, but this is now a different avenue of like you're spending so much time recruiting a kid.
So is there tampering now? Is Coach Prime calling whoever in Nebraska come play for me?
Yeah, I'm sure there's that going.
Like is there scouts? Is this happening behind closed doors that wasn't allowed to happen before?
Yeah, they're probably going.
You were here.
There's probably guys from Michigan going to USC games with binoculars and watching.
So are all these guys, are they basically, is every college player now, this is actually good, is every college player now, are they just free agents? As soon as the season's done, I'm a free agent. Call
I don't know of any
1-800 Brent.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Yeah. You play for West Virginia this year, you play for Virginia next year. Like it's
because all of a sudden these NIL deals don't just pop out of a Shreddy's box. Right.
Well,
this has to be like when this kid transferring, that deal's done. It's already done. So how much tampering's being done?
Oh,
like it's. I never thought of that until now, man. Like,
yeah, this even opened the box more for tampering, I would think, and the fact that like I know Penn State, they don't have payroll for their players, which I'm astounded that as many players stay there as they do. I mean, I don't know if they're getting some. They got to be getting some type of perks. Like it might not be talked about or something, but
there's no way they aren't, Aaron. There's no way they aren't, because why would you stay?
Right. Why not go to even?
Why not go to somewhere in Texas where the second string linebacker is getting $40,000 a year? $40,000 a year for a college kid? Why not?
Texas A&M, who didn't have as good of a year as Penn State or Ohio State, like they weren't as good. But they're paying they're shoving money down their players' throat. And like if I'm playing at Penn State, if I'm a second stringer at Penn State, as much as I'm a Penn State homer or whatever, if I'm getting offers there and it's going to financially benefit me and I'm doing the same thing, like why what if you're allowing these players to make their own decisions, why wouldn't you leave? That's why I think there's definitely something going on, because I know Ohio State, everybody knows that it was talked about that they're making 20 million, like their payroll is 20 million. Penn State doesn't have a payroll. Like they don't have their players. The difference there is I'm sure there's other programs, but there's their player. And now we'll talk about this, but there's the players from Penn State have to go out and find their own NIL. Like they have to go to Safeco Insurance or Geico, whatever. And then do you want to sponsor me? Like Ohio State's like, you're playing wide receiver, you're making $250,000. Like you walk in the door there.
They have donors giving money. Here it is. We'll deal it out. How we
sign, seal, deliver. You don't have to do anything other than play football to get your money. You don't have to go out and get a spot, make commercial. None of bullshit. It's money, right? Hand and fist. Like, and how are you going to compete with that if you're West Virginia or one of these like teams that aren't even like a Penn State of the world, like a USC of the world, where you're Virginia, you're West Virginia, you're North Carolina. How do you measure up to that? Because now your program's not as big to begin with, and now you're getting these players are getting paid 5 times as much as, if you're lucky, your players are. It's so fucked up.
You'd be crazy to not, if you're a decent college football player who you kind of know if you're going the NFL or not. You have an idea probably in your first couple of years, but you're a decent guy, you're on a team. Okay, you know what? If I get a degree, and if I can put 50 grand, let's say, in my jeans for my last 2-3 years of college every year, and that's a pretty low pay for some of these NIL guys. So if I get out of college with a degree and I got $100,000 in the bank to start off my life, easy that how much easier that would be than having to pay off student loans and blah blah blah. If you have that head start, because a lot of these guys they get jobs out of college because they were a college football player, right? So and this guy might hire him here, but if I can walk out, and let's go to the upper end, if I can walk out of college with $2 million in the bank, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, we're telling Juan Soto like he's going to get as much money as he can, and now these kids that like this is a golden age of. I mean, it's got to be kind of surreal if you're, let's say, a kid at USC that didn't make the NFL. Like you were a great college football player, but you had a deficiency in your game or whatever, and you didn't think, like, all the teams passed on you. You don't even get picked up and undrafted or anything, and then you didn't make a penny playing there too. Like you got to think I get it. It's life. Things change, but this is like a radical change. I mean, it's like that sucks. You just or if you just came out of college and you didn't make right before all this shit started, then it's like you almost feel like you were owed something. Like it's like I don't know.
How it can trickle down. Like now you see coaches, and that's why you have travel ball, travel sports, travel basketball, blah blah blah. Because now parents see this. Hey, my kid doesn't have to make it to the pros to make a couple $1 million, right? So now all this is the way it trickles right down from professional right down to little Billy's soccer team. Think about it's the money that's available now that's never been available before to and quote air quotes. I don't do air quotes very often. To amateur athletes is astonishing. To amateur athletes, because that's what college football players are supposed to be. They're amateurs, not supposed to make a penny. And now what they're making, oh man, it's a game changer.
And I've always kind of towed the line where it comes to should the players get paid, should they not? I mean, you got to think though, just the ability to go to a USC, Texas or whatever, in Florida for free when you or I that didn't play college sports and we're paying $50,000 a year to go, like that alone is that's a privilege though. These kids act like that's, oh well, I'm a good football player, so I should. It's just like that's almost out of touch. It's like, come on, man. Like, do you not realize that other people are going into $250,000 in debt to go to this school, and you're walking, you're scot free. Like I just,
and I'm making how much? Right.
Well, now, yeah, but even before then, it's like you had these colleges were making millions off them, but guess what? They were getting a free education. Like that's a great privilege, though. I don't know. And Trajan and I were talking about this last night, and it's never going back now. I don't. There's no way you go back after this. Like
they can't just say tomorrow, you know what? We have to get a handle on this. We're gonna stop this for a year. Well, you can't.
That would cause outrage. Yeah.
Hey, like what? What? So I signed here to play for you, and now you're telling me that because what did the kid going to Michigan next year? Got 10 million a year. 10 million. Hasn't played a snap in college football.
That's a problem too, because now you're having like Dave Portnoy from Barstool. He's a Michigan jerk off, and he's dumping money into their program to go get these guys. So now you got all these, if I'm a fan of like there's this guy Big Cat on Barstool who's a Wisconsin guy. He's like, all right, well, we're gonna put Wisconsin on the map. I'm gonna dump money. It's such a fucked up system now. Like it's completely upside down.
Like how small is your dink if you need to give your college, your alma mater, $50 million to pat yourself on the back because your team just won a national championship? Way to go, dickhead! Like who are you? Like you look at like those high school football, like those old what was it, Friday Night Lights, when all those guys are shaking each other in the back and I did this. Dude, glory days are over, man. Like if your team didn't win and you're just dumping money into it, and you could say, look what I did for my team. Fuck off. Like it's ridiculous. To like that Barstool, Portnoy, whatever his name is, for him to brag about it, I'd laugh in his face. I said, what are you doing, man? Way to go.
You know what he'd say to us? Well, I have the money. You guys don't. You know how it is. It's just it's ruined the and I'm not even gonna, because I said this to Trajan last night. I was like, college football was pure, and couldn't be more wrong. I couldn't be more wrong though, because it's always been tainted. It just wasn't like.
But we didn't know.
We didn't know, and it wasn't like now. It's in your face. Like everything. Now we know it's and the heavyweights are. It's going to turn into the MLB soon. It'll be like, oh well,
yep.
Michigan has a Steve Cohen, dumping money into their program. So the Michigan's now the Mets. Good luck competing with the Mets if you're Texas Tech. Like it's just so. I don't know. It pisses me off because I'm such a college football like through and through fan, and it's changed completely, flips upside down.
Yeah, I mean, if I had time today, I would figure a way to see what the payrolls are for these remaining teams is.
Maybe we'll do that. I mean, if we get together again next week or something, we can.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
We can dive into that, because I know Oregon, for example. Oregon is, I mean, first of all, it's Phil Knight's school, the owner of Nike. So there you go. Here's money out the ass, and then they have I know they're paying their play. Like they have it very good. I'll put it that way. They have it, and they're the number one team in the nation. So
number one team in the country. So
is there a correlation? I mean,
so now every really good to great high school player is just getting letters or whatever. However the kids they get things in nowadays. I'm not going there. I'm not going there.
Immediately. Yeah.
They don't even care. I'm not going to these schools. I'm not.
If it's not Michigan, Oregon, Ohio State.
And then so now you have like the kids who would stay in their state and be proud of their state. They're like, man, I can make 10 sheets over here, not even play. Yep. I'm good.
Yep, I'll figure it out over there. I'll do it over there. Yep.
And then if it doesn't work, I'm just going to go over here. Like it's insane, man. Like can't blame them if it works. Someone offered me more money, I'd take it.
They opened the floodgates, and now they've and like we said, I mean, you talk about USC, they were giving their guy, but it wasn't. I get. That's where I kind of go back and forth. Like, I don't like the fact that some schools were doing it under the table before, and now the other schools weren't. But it should, if you're going to do this, it needs to be a level playing field. Then, if you're going to do this, every school should be able to. Why can't we institute a salary cap on this? Like, this was created from nothing, and now you're just letting it become just whatever you want it to be. Like, that would be like if baseball, was formed 3 years ago. Like, okay, baseball is a thing. We can institute a salary cap at the start of the league beginning.
Yeah.
like you're basically reinventing college football, and you're just saying fuck it. Whoever wants to spend the most money, have at it. Like I just how does this? I don't know. The NCAA doesn't care. It's a money making machine. They're printing money now. They are not that they weren't before, but now they are. There's more eyeballs on it now. I'm sure. Ever since all this, the playoff, the NIL, all this, and now we're talking about it. Just the fact that we're talking about it.
10 years ago, there would never have been a game on a Friday night. Never. Now, let's do it.
It would be Northern Illinois and Kent State.
It'd be the Pop-Tart Bowl, whatever, right? Not again. That didn't matter. That nobody cares about. Whatever.
Yeah, no, it was on at the bar. That's it. That's the only people that watched it. Yeah. Now
stands are empty. Now you got ESPN, McAfee, all of it, because they're making money, and now the kids are getting their cut too. And it's I don't know if it's good. I don't know if it's good for it. Until they think they can regulate it, because now the have and have-nots are huge, because there's a lot of rich people in that country of yours that don't mind spending money to see their team win. Heaven forbid they give it to, like, I don't know, a homeless shelter or food bank or something. I don't know, just one of those things. But to watch their team win, way to go! Root for the home team. Sing the victory song, you fucking loser. Like, whatever, man.
Like, I get it if you want to spend your money here, if you're Dave Portnoy, but it gets to a point where, like, when does it become ridiculous? Because
we're at that point.
I think what you just said, like the homeless shelter, like stuff like that. I'm not saying that spend your money how you want, but when sports are like completely and utterly, it seems like they are just completely about the money now. It doesn't seem like we're losing that. Often, like, there's competitive players, sure, but as like from the top of the top, it's just changed the fact that it's no longer like pure and tradition and this and that. It's how do we make the most money on a Saturday afternoon now? That's how it is. But look at sports betting. Sports betting has created that. Like, there's anywhere you look, it's about the money.
Everything.
Can't get away from it.
Like, you think, like, how greasy it used to be. You used to have a bookie that you'd call it, had a shop over here, whatever, some underhanded deal. That is now, like, you look back, that was cleaner than what's happening now. Now it's like bet, spend. Before, you kind of had to hide it. Now it's like it's wide, it's right in the open.
Well, that's the thing too. Like, I mean, baseball, I guess it would be kind of hard to do, and we'll get out of here soon. But like football, right? If I'm playing for USC and I'm a quarterback, well, no, let's go NFL. If I'm playing, because it's a lot easier to bet on certain things, I'm gonna be like, you know what? I'm telling, like, my fan, like, anybody that doesn't have my last name, take this guy for a touchdown, and I'm making sure it happens, because now I can just give that family member $250,000 and put it on that, and knowing that damn near it's gonna happen. Like, as long as I make a play, it's gonna, like, you can just that alone, you can skew things so much. Like, you could just say, you know what?
Easy.
Every week I'm gonna give you guys $500,000 to bet on something that I like. I'm the quarterback of the Bills. I'm gonna throw it to this guy in the red zone, and 9 times out of 10 he's open, or 7 times out of 10, whatever. But you could just easily, okay, I'm gonna even make more, like, money, and they're never gonna know because it's a person that's not even in my family.
Yeah, my second cousin, twice removed brother's sister's aunt. Watch this. Put down $20 here. Watch.
Yeah.
Done.
Or they can wire them.
Over under is good. It'll be under.
Wire them $100,000 when you're making $40 million a year. What's that?
There's always a way, right? Yeah, they're investigating everything else, but there's always a way. And when money and I said this before. This isn't even a Brent original. Money's the dirtiest word in the English language. And it's unbelievable. Like, the stuff you see, and with sports and everything else, it's crazy. But
yeah. Well, I mean, unfortunately, I guess it kind of turned into a negative show. But it's the
it was fun.
It's the world we live. It's the sporting world that it's turned into this. So, I appreciate you coming on. Tell the people where we can find you. You got it everywhere. So
1420 Sports Bar Podcast, 4 Beer Sports Talk, and a whole lot more. Just recording whenever I can. morning shows, afternoon, nights with you, whenever, however, just doing it all. So yeah, a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we can solve more problems than they even want to address, but that's this different discussion for a different day. So
there we go.
we will.
No, thanks for having me on. Thanks for doing this, Aaron. It's 9:30 in the morning. Also, now I got to go talk to the wife, see what she's doing.
Yeah, it's already approaching kickoff for the Penn State game here. Well, yeah, I mean it is there too, but it's
Are they going to win?
30. I think they win today. I mean I'd be shocked if they lose this one, but seen crazier things.
They might get Franklin. You never know.
That's as long as you're on the sideline, you gotta
watch that.
You gotta bite your fingernails a little bit, but yeah, definitely do it again soon. And shout out to the 1420 Sports Bar podcast. Go check that out on all the platforms. Go check out Fan the Van. Who else? I don't even. Craft Brew Sports, the Belly Up Network. I'm not used to hosting, so I'm just kind of throwing anybody out there.
A little rusty.
Yeah, a little rusty on that one. So we will hopefully catch you at least once a week going forward, and take it easy and enjoy the weekend.
Have a good Christmas, Aaron. We'll talk to you later.